Hopefully you aren't stressed out. Oh, well, we are. My anxiety was through the charts. Are we good at driving by now? No, we got your back. Shh, it's not a topic for right now. Hello, Stepadoodle Gang. Welcome back to I Didn't Ask for Yappuccino featuring your host, Josh. For today's video, I was thinking of opening up a letter I wrote 2 years ago when I was 18 to my 20-year-old self. It's been almost 3 weeks since I've turned 20, and I remember I opened my desk and found this, and I was like, oh, that's right. I need to open up this letter and see what I wrote when I was 18 to my 20-year-old self. I actually filmed this video, I think, 2 years ago when I was 18, and it was a letter from my 16-year-old self to my 18-year-old self. And there was a lot of personal things on there, and in the video I kind of brush over a lot of that stuff. I don't say everything that's on that letter on the video on camera, so I don't know if this might be personal too. I don't know what I wrote. There's genuinely I have no idea what I wrote. Well, I have some ideas. I think I wrote about getting a driver's license, hey, hope you got a driver's license, hope you're still religious, hope you're this, hope you're that. I think I didn't shoot too much for the stars with this one because that just leads to disappointment. I'm not gonna be like, oh, hope your skin is clear, hope your body tea, hope you exercise every single day, and hope you have a six-pack, hope you're a millionaire, hope you're a gillionaire. It wasn't really things like that, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of wrote a little bit of a realistic letter. So we're gonna delve into it, see what's inside, read about it, talk about it, and yeah, let's get into this. From Hallmark. Oh god. You would think okay, where's the letter? It's just a little... Here we go. Let's see. Open when 20. Oh my god. Hopefully... Is this big? Oof. Kind of a big letter, I won't lie. Okay. This was written 2024. The day after my 18th birthday. Okay, letter to 20-year-old self. Dear Yash, how does it feel to be 20? Honestly, it doesn't feel that different, but I do feel older. I'm no longer a teenager. The 19 was my last year of being a teenager, so I'm just wow, I'm an adult, but I still feel very much like a child at the same time. So I don't think it's hit me yet. I feel like when you get into the groove of, your birthday and turning an age, you have to wait a couple months and then maybe you start to feel like your age. But I don't know, I feel like 20 is super young. By the default, I don't know what people are really doing when they're 20. So I'm not trying to compare myself to them and be like, well, am I on par with everybody else who's 20 years old? I don't know. Let's move on. 2 years is a long time, and many things can happen in that span. This is your freshly 18-year-old self writing to you. How's college? College is college. It's, it's school. Never really been interested in it, so it didn't really necessarily get better. Getting into the more challenging courses in my major, which is engineering. So in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, I have to start my fall semester, and I'm taking Calculus 2 and Physics 1 with lab, and I've heard that Calculus 2 is very difficult. Calculus 1 I feel was pretty difficult. I had a kind of a more accelerated session because I took it in the summer, and honestly, it's unlike every other math class I've taken. It's definitely requires a lot more elbow grease, and I feel like a lot of the curriculum for calculus is kind of out of the box. You do need a lot of algebra skills to implement it into the curriculum, but it's kind of used in a different way, in a way that you're not really used to. So it's definitely very much a learning curve. So I feel if you've taken college algebra, pre-calcs, statistics, and trigonometry, those are kind of easy in my opinion, but calculus is where it starts to kind of get a little bit, harder. So I'm afraid about calculus 2 because everybody's saying is that it's very difficult. And I was speaking to engineering peer to just kind of get more information about my major and like for any advice from them. And they sent me their transcripts actually, and they got a C in calculus 2. So that's not that that's alarming. I'm not going to try to put too much pressure on myself to get like an A. I just want to pass the class. But hopefully I can pass the class is kind of just like what I'm dealing with. So that's how college has been. It's not my favorite thing, but it needs to be done if I want to have an engineering degree under my belt. Moving on. Hopefully you aren't stressed out. Oh, well, we are. I hope the curriculum is digestible enough for you. Do we still go to the previous school I went to? Before I signed up for the current community college I am attending right now, I attended an online school very briefly and then dropped it because it was too expensive and the classes were not in the schedule that worked for me best. I had classes early in the morning, so much space in between that time, and then classes late at night. And I was just like, these classes are not worth the money. I can't even like customize my schedule all that much to suit me because it was by like whoever my guidance counselor was. It kind of was just operated a bit differently. So there was like classes in the morning, classes in the evening, so they just did that for me. I couldn't really like change that up for myself, and the professors I had weren't all that good, and it was an art oriented school, and I just feel like art like is just difficult. I thought I could handle it, but I remember we were doing like drawing. I had like a drawing basics class, and it was so difficult. You have to like hold a pencil like this. That's all I kind of like remembered. Hold a pencil like this. And it was a lot of things like sketching out like a plane, making sure that it's symmetrical, and how to like measure with your pencil. And I don't know, to me that was like I was stressing out. I was super duper duper stressed when I was attending that school. I don't think I've ever been that stressed in my life. I was like honestly like waking up and just like shaking. Like my anxiety was through the charts. I don't know why, but I needed to leave. So I ended up withdrawing. So that's that. Have we done internships? Oh, okay. Before I just skipped ahead. Do we still go to that school? Answer that. Is our major still advertising? I didn't know that I was majoring in advertising, but no, it's in engineering. I've mentioned that in my previous videos, but shout out to anybody who's studying engineering, advertising. I made this switch because I just want more stability for myself in the future, and I feel like advertising, it definitely can be a very stable profession. It's very necessary in like the future and stuff, and like our world and the way it operates. Like marketing is very necessary, but I think it just wasn't really correlating with my interest. Not that engineering correlates with my interest, it doesn't really, but no, we're not still majoring in advertising. Have we done internships? I did do an internship my first year of college, and it was a kind of a journalism internship. I was writing blogs for this adoption agency about like, adoption to the people that are, currently pregnant and, want to put their child up for adoption, maybe want to do like, there's a version of adoption where you can select a parent. I think it's called open adoption, where you can select a parent, but you can still keep in contact with the kid. But majority of adoptions, I think, are closed, where it's like you are giving up your kid and it's like they're not going to stay in contact. But there's a version where it's like open. So I learned a lot from that internship about adoption. I never really kind of like understood adoption. I was like, okay, well, it just happens. But that taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about like certain laws, certain target audiences, certain demographics with adoption. But I still don't really know how it like operates because it was kind of a marketing journalism internship, so we weren't really like trying to understand like what adoption is about and like how it operates in the world and society. It's kind of more just like marketing and advertising this adoption agency, and I did well in it. But I remember after I finished my internship, I put like my blog link on my LinkedIn, and I was like, I'm gonna get so many jobs. haven't heard from anyone. So I do have an internship under my belt. It's completely unrelated to my degree. And I feel like if I were to read what I wrote before, I'd be like, this is a bunch of BS. Because I was low-key just freestyling. I didn't really do much digging into the agency that I was promoting. So I was just saying, we got your back. Things like that. And they're just like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I guess this works. And I remember in my first year, I wasn't taking like really difficult college classes. So I had a lot of time to do like writing on the side, which is what I do. It's my hobby. And I remember this internship was kind of conflicting with that. And I was so frustrated with it. But honestly, it wasn't like a life-changing internship. I did learn a lot, but it's not like, targeted to what I want to do with my life. I do want to advocate for like better adoption in the world, but other than like the marketing aspect of it, do I think it was like a big learning curve? Not really. I think I did it for 3 months, 6 months. No, I think 3 months. And yeah, enough about that. Let's move on. What kind of career-oriented opportunities have we been granted? Nothing. But I'm not really putting myself out there. I could get an engineering internship, but I'm not too academic. I'm just kind of trying to finish my degree, and then I can worry about getting experience, getting internships. I feel like there's this kind of pressure for anybody who's in college. Like, you need to get experience, you need to be a part of these internships, network with these people, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I'm just trying to survive my degree first. I firstly don't really have the time to do those things. And secondly, I can do that stuff when I'm finished with my degree, right? I feel like, well, it's obviously better to start earlier and to brush shoulders with the right people because they can offer you a lot of opportunities. But I feel like I can still manage a way to get all that stuff done when I finish my degree. And I'm currently not in university yet. I have one more school year until I finish my associates. So I think the atmosphere and environment for when I'm in university will be different. So maybe then I'll consider getting an internship. But for now, I'm just gonna kind of take things easy. But I'm not gonna put a lot of not a lot of pressure to be like, get this internship, network with these two, go to this event, blah 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 blah. I'm just gonna kind of take that easy. And yeah, the university that I want to go to, I spoke to people on LinkedIn who are majoring in the major that I want to do and are in the university I want to go to, and they say that getting internships is not that difficult for that major. So fingers crossed I'll be able to get experience and get a job when I finish my degree. But given the current state of the job market and whatnot, things are not super hopeful, but things can change. So that's kind of my take on that, where I'm at with that. Give me your advice if you're like, oh, well, you should probably be concerned about getting internships, networking with people. It's definitely good you get a leg up. Let me know your thoughts on that. Moving on. All in all, I hope you are taking advantage of all the benefits that surround you in life. Taking advantage of all the benefits that surround you in life. I don't know if I am. Like, I guess I could be doing more in life, but I've kind of learned to take things easier with myself the older I get. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to be like, I need to, use everything that is around me. I need to, like, I don't know how to word it, but I think I was putting too much pressure on myself. Like, you need to hurry up, you need to use this, you need to use that, you need to use this, you know what I'm saying? But I've kind of learned, like, hey, I'll just use it when I need to, and I found a good footing in what I really do with my life on a day-to-day basis, and I think I am using my resources to their most, I don't know, for lack of a better word. I think I'm using them to the most. I could definitely do more, but I'll do more when I need to do more. But at the moment, I'm kind of just grooving myself into that. So that's my answer. Don't waste time. Relax, girl. Always be headstrong. Okay. Do we have a part-time job somewhere? No. 2024, I had already, the last job I had was at Aeropostale. I think I mentioned that in my last video. I worked there when I was a junior in high school. I'm essentially a junior in college now, so it's been 4 years. So, no, it's been 4 years since I've gotten a job. It's impossible. I've been considering maybe like doing nannying on the side, maybe on the weekends, but my parents are like, nope, don't do that. My parents are kind of in the way of me getting a job, but it's honestly difficult. But my plan is that when I finish my associate's degree, I do want to get a job. I want to take a gap year to work so that I can get an apartment where near the university I want to go to, because I don't want to have a dorm. That's a topic for another video. I don't want to get a dorm, and I need to have enough money for tuition if it's a lot, hopefully financial aid, and if I get a scholarship that will like cover a big ton of it. But I don't want to take out a loan, and I think it's going to be in the thousands, so I kind of want to get a job so that I can get enough money. If I take one gap year, 2 gap years, I don't think it's that big of a deal. So I'll get a job then. You know what I mean? I have 1 year, but for now I'm just going to focus on my academics and get a job then. I don't know what job I'll get. Maybe it'll be like, I don't know, some sort of sales associate again. I'll just try to get what is easiest. Hopefully by then it'll be a little bit easier to get a job. I was thinking of maybe bartending. Is that a little like weird? Not weird in the sense that like, oh, it's a weird profession, but like, I don't think I'm qualified, right? Obviously I'd need to take like an apprenticeship and some sort of training. I don't know how long that'll take. It'll probably take a long time, but maybe like 6 months. But would I get like hired? Is that like doing well, like employability wise? I don't know. I'll do some research, but that's kind of on the back of my mind. Moving on. Are we good at driving by now? No. I don't have my driver's license. The last time I drove in my dad's car was probably a year or 2 ago. No, I don't think 2 years ago, but maybe a year or more ago. My parents had this like thing for a bit where they're like, you guys need to learn how to drive, me and my sister, and they kind of taught us for a brief point in time, and I did know how to drive slightly. I would like drive around like when we would take my dog to the park, there was like this little area where you could do like a U-turn, and there would be like student drivers who would practice there. So I kind of did that a bit, and I would like turn around, and then I tried to park. I don't think it worked out well. I just remember being very nervous. I'm very scared of cars and driving. I think I get that fear from my mom, but yeah, in terms of driving, I've regressed because it's been a bit of time since I've last sat in a car and tried to drive. But I do need to practice. My parents have talked about it briefly lately. They're like, come on, we have to get back into the group of teaching the kids how to drive, but nothing has really happened. So it's not really a priority for me right now. Again, once I finish my associate's degree, 1 more year, and I have to get a job, I'm hoping that around that time of year, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to take driving classes. I'm going to maybe buy a car, who knows, or maybe actually, no, I was going to say e-scooter, but I've been getting a lot of nurses on my For You page being like, do not get an e-scooter, do not get a bike, this and that. So I don't think so, because it's very dangerous. So I think my parents' paranoia about that, like, oh, I can just buy a bike to go to university. Like, no, I think it's kind of valid. So yeah, I think I need to get a car, and I need to learn how to drive. So, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Right now, it's not urgent. But I am 20. By now you would be like, girl, you don't know how to drive? I don't. It's not a topic for right now. Anyways, better yet, do we have a license? Nope. Perhaps even a car? Nope. What trips have we gone on? I think my family went to Universal Studios in Orlando, and that's it. We haven't really gone anywhere else. But yeah, we went like twice, I think, in this span of time. We went to, I forget when we went to Island of Adventure. We went to Island of Adventure one summer, and then the next summer we went to like the main Universal Studios with like the Jimmy Fallon ride, the Minions. You get the point. The one with less roller coasters. Island of Adventure has more roller coasters. But yeah, that's the trips we've gone on. They were fun. definitely frightening. I would say going on those kinds of amusement park situations, you have to go with a good group of people. And I feel like maybe going at night is a better time, because if you go to Orlando in the summer, it's going to be hot as hell, and you're going to be there all day. You're going to be exhausted by the end of the day, and you're going to be irritated. So make sure you go with a good group. I remember being very irritated with my mom and sister when we had gone. I was very cranky and very scared. When we went to Island of Adventure, it was my entire family, and it was scary. We went on this ride called the Velocicoaster. It's the scariest ride in the park, but not as scary as like other amusement park rides. Like if you go to like your local Six Flags or whatever, there's probably scarier rides. But I remember being scared. I was petrified. I didn't have time to scream on that ride. But honestly, I still want to get over my fear of heights. It was kind of like exhilarating, but scary at the same time. Like I kind of felt like I felt very wobbly and trembly after the ride, but I was still kind of like, "Ooh, I did that," and that was kind of fun. But at the same time, I didn't have my eyes open. I was just kind of like frozen and stiff in my seat, gripping onto the harness and whatnot. But yeah, this is the trips I went on. Definitely like experiences that I'm glad I had. Very grateful to have had those experiences. But I think, we explored Universal Studios enough. If I want to go on a trip somewhere else, I would want to go maybe somewhere abroad. Next question. Anything out of the country in terms of trips? Nope. Have we made a solid friend yet? Oh my gosh, that's so sad. No, we have not. I did have like some lab mates last year fall semester for my chemistry class that I kind of was speaking to, but I have this video on my channel called I Low-Key Have No Friends, and that goes more into detail kind of my friend situation lately. I do not have friends. I honestly genuinely don't have friends. I kind of have this peer that I've been speaking to that I was friends with in high school, but we kind of have drifted apart, so I don't know if we're really considered friends. I feel like a friend is someone you speak to not every now and then, but like not constantly, but someone you speak to, someone you can lean on, someone you can say whatever to. And I feel like this friend that I've drifted apart from, I kind of wasn't able to be like my real self in front of them. I kind of bit my tongue on a lot of things that I wish I was comfortable saying in front of them. So no, we have not made a solid friend yet. In terms of kind of like friends in general, I feel like I haven't really had like a friend, like someone I'm thick as thieves with ever since I was like 13. 13, 12, 13, 14, around that time, I had like some good friends that I thought we were tight with, but we ended up drifting apart, which is natural. I'm not trying to like hold a grudge over that and be resentful. That's just what happens. Friends come and go. But I'm telling you, like, that's the last time I kind of really was really close with someone. And like this friend that I've kind of drifted apart from, which was when I was like 15, 16, I'm 20 now. So yeah, I thought I would have a friend by now, but I'm not really putting myself out there. Like, I made that video about I low-key have no friends, and someone in the comments wrote some very great advice about like, what about volunteering, doing this, doing that, like putting yourself out there. Like if you volunteer, obviously you're gonna eventually maybe buddy up with someone, or if you're like doing internships, you're gonna buddy up with someone. If you work, you're gonna buddy up with someone, obviously. But just going to school and kind of being like an in and out type of person, like I'm just in class, the teacher lectures, I do my notes, I try to understand what's being taught, and then I leave. I don't stay to like really interact with anyone. Maybe if I'm sitting with a desk mate, I'm like, hey, hi, but it never really gets closer to than that. But like the closest I've had to like almost getting a friend was when I had lab fall semester last year, chemistry. Like I was kind of really talking to them and like hee hee ha ha, but it never really went anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my friend situation. Next question. Did we get a new pet? Why did I ask that? No. And I do not want to get a new pet ever, honestly. I think the concept of having a pet is a little just kind of not right, and I think because of my situation with my dog, I'm kind of reluctant to have a pet again, but he's my pet. I'm fulfilled enough by him. He is enough for me, my dog. And yeah, moving on. Do we still live in where I live right now? Yes. I think even me back then, I was like, can we get out of here? Can we move out? My parents have considered, but no, we're still living here. I don't know if we'll ever move out. I don't think we will, but I'll eventually not be living here when I go to university. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know what the future holds. I'm kind of trying to keep things open and loose. Maybe I'll still be here. I have no idea, but that's that question out of the way. How's our writing coming along? It's coming along okay. This story that I've been working on, I've still been working on 2 years ago, like my main story. 2 years ago, I was still working on it. I think I had just finished it, but I was going back to making edits, and then I was restructuring the formatting of it. But now I'm kind of like, I've gotten it. It's been like a year since I've started like rewriting it completely, and I thought that earlier in this year, I thought that I would be done by now, but I'm not. It's taking so long because I had to do school, and then I'm having a lot more responsibilities around the household that I have to do, so I don't really have time to do like my hobbies and stuff, and I don't know if I will, because this fall semester I'm going to be quite busy, so I need to see how that goes, but I still make time to do it when I do. But yeah, we're reaching the end of my main story. I still need to go back and make edits for the freaking last time, hopefully. But after I'm finishing this story, hopefully I finish it up nicely, I'm gonna go back and completely re-edit it again because it needs a lot of re-edits. But after that, hopefully I'm done. And even if I'm not done, I'm gonna move on because I've been shackled to this story for a solid like 3-4 years almost. I need to move on. Next question. Do we still do that? I think they were talking about this writing hobby. Yes, we do. It's something that I'm going to continue doing because I have so many ideas, so many things that I want to continue writing about. And, maybe if I grow out of it, I'll stop. But this is something that it's my hobby, it's my thing, and I just want to continue doing it, even if sometimes it might not be fun. Sometimes I have to discipline myself more than usual. Sometimes I have to do it even if I don't want to do it. It's kind of a complicated situation, but we're still doing it. Who knows if 2 years down the line I won't be doing it. I don't know. Next question. I hope you are recognized for that. When I wrote this, I thought that I would be like some sort of crazy author, but no, I'm not really getting that much of interaction on my Wattpad. It's still like scammers, and I remember like earlier in the year, late last year, I was doing a lot of promoting for my story, and nobody really interacted with that stuff, but my promotions weren't good, so I'm just kind of trying to, my main focus for my writing hobby at the moment is to just finish my story and re-edit it and feel satisfied with what I've written, and then I'll move on to maybe promoting, or maybe I won't, and maybe I'll hop onto a different story. I have no idea. But yeah. Next question. Know that we're our biggest supporter. Okay. Just try your best. Okay. Don't let the pressure get to you. Okay. But I think you're kind of putting pressure on me, girl, because you're like, take advantage of everything that's going on around you. Relax. Can we relax a little bit? Next. Think positively. I try. It's all within you. Yay! Believe that you are enough. Got it. Sincerely, me. Speaking from the heart, B. Fletcher.
Hashtag speaking from the heart, B. Fletcher.
Alright, that's the end. I thought it would actually be a bit more juicier, but I read every single word. I'm not even joking. I read every single word on this page. Obviously not like my living details and stuff, but yeah, that's my letter. Hope I talked about some interesting things. I want to keep this video a bit shorter because I think my last video was big. So yeah, that's kind of my situation with this letter. I thought it would be a lot more personal, but we kept things pretty realistic, I would say. And though I did not really fulfill majority of the things that I hoped I would have when I was 18, I think that's okay. And I think if I were to have a conversation with my 18-year-old self and just explain what has been going on these past 2 years, I think they would understand why things have just ended up the way they have. Maybe I'll consider writing a letter to my 22-year-old self because, you know, 22, by that time, I'll probably be finished working or taking my gap year to do work. Maybe I'll consider doing more work. So maybe I want to ask myself those questions. But yeah, I'm pretty pleasantly surprised by the things that I wrote about in this video. Wrote about in this letter. If you are considering doing this for yourself, I do recommend it. And yeah, maybe it's time for me to write a little something something for my future self, and maybe then I'll make a video again. That wraps this video up. Thank you for watching. Bye!